Hello and welcome to the Chatter Cave podcast, where usually we talk random crap and just yabber on for a while, but on occasion we do movie reviews like the good old days, and it felt right going to a movie with such history.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to in a minute. I am your usual host, Ranking Thomas Hughes. I am joined by Fate Layer Studios Chief CEO, would you say?
Boss bitch.
Boss bitch.
Yes.
Hayden Roberts, aka Licola.
Hey.
It would feel wrong not doing this franchise with you just because our shared love and interest in said topic. And what we're going to talk about today and review is Jurassic Park, the original movie from 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. And it's such an iconic movie that it's got so many iconic shots. It's easily quotable, and it's a very memorable film.
Definitely.
From your childhood. Okay, it does have issues, CGI mainly, but you can let it slide. It's early 90s. You're not going to expect a fucking Avatar, are you, really? But obviously, it's very noticeable when it does happen, but we don't give a shit. Let that slide. Early 90s. Anything from between, before 2000, you can let slide in terms of CGI, because, CGI wasn't top-notch at that point in there.
For its time, it was...
Yeah, for its time, it was probably the peak of CGI for its time. But obviously, when you look at it now, especially when you look at the newer Jurassic Park films, Jurassic World, and you look at it in comparison, you're just like, damn, the CGI is terrible here. And then you look at those and you're like, damn, the CGI is great in this one. But I give credit for the fact that they try most of the film to use animatronics over the choice of digital, because animatronics, I love animatronics in movies, especially when the fact they made actual fucking dinosaurs. Yeah. That is just pure enjoyment.
The actual animatronics themselves are the more realistic.
Yeah.
The animatronics are more realistic than the actual CGI from newer films, I think.
Because obviously you got animatronics T-Rex, you got the animatronic Raptor, Dilophosaur, Triceratops, but obviously everything else is more CG. So obviously you're those are your main dinosaurs, other than the Gallimimus. That's the only other real species of dinosaur in this film, isn't it?
Yeah, we see little hints of
other possible species which get actually utilised in future installments. But for this one, you get 6 dinosaurs. All of them have CGI counterparts. Sorry, 7 actually. Brachiosaur, ignore me. Oh, Parasaurolophus, but they're a long shot out, so you don't get a... I'm up to 8 now, aren't I? I think 8 is the number I'm going with here. And obviously the only ones who don't have animatronic counterparts is the Parasaurolophus, because it's just from one shot. And obviously the... Gallimimus, sorry. My mind trying to spell it out.
That whole thing is
yeah, because I think that'd be way too difficult. Especially for this time era, I think that'd be way too difficult to try and make physical versions to do that. I mean, they do utilise the raptors in speed scenes, but not the level of speed that the Gallimimus runs at, because, I mean, they're fast
motherfuckers. They're more like ostriches, they are.
They are fast motherfuckers, them are. But I feel like we can't really talk about this film without first touching upon the score by fucking John Williams.
Beautiful.
I mean, you can't talk about Steven Spielberg movies without a John Williams score. E.T., Indiana Jones, Jaws, for fuck's sake. I mean, when we did that fucking Chatter Cave Awards, we gave Jaws the win on that one, because John Williams has such a great score. I mean, he doesn't even just do fucking Spielberg movies. Star Wars, for fuck's sake. And that was George Lucas. Then again, Lucas is a friend of Spielberg. But his fucking music is so beautiful. It's so well timed in moments. So the door scene, when obviously the Welcome to Jurassic Park door opens, it's just instantly into it. And the end of the movie, when it's more somber needed, it's the more somber take on it. But when it the first shot, when you're in the helicopter and it kicks in, it's like obviously it builds up and it's like dun dun. It goes fully for it, and it's just like, that is so well done. Even the bits without the classic JP theme, just the normal things, it sounds really good. You got the scene when they're like, I want to see how this is all done in the Jeeps. The fucking badass sort of music hits. there's the tense music when the raptors are attacking. It's just so well timed. A lot of the music is, but of course the main theme is the most iconic piece of music you can find. John Williams for you. He makes so many iconic tunes.
I love how, because obviously the actual theme itself is really long. They use different parts
different portions of it. Yeah,
certain parts of the theme is like more different. There's the more slower, somber version at the end. There's a much more quieter, more subtle version. Then there's the big. That build up for that scene as well.
There's a dude, it's just fucking so good. I love the cast of the movie as well. The cast of this movie is so perfectly done. Obviously, you got Sam Neill, does obviously great job as the main protagonist in from Alan. Obviously, you got Laura Dern as Ellie. She has that more adventure side to the character, whereas obviously Alan's more of like this by the book sort of guy. She's more of this very adventurous character for the fact that she doesn't mind getting stuck in. I mean, you see her put her fist straight through shit to try and figure out what's wrong with Triceratops, for fuck's sake. Obviously, you got. I'm going to build up to him, FYI. Obviously, got Richard Attenborough, not David Attenborough. You got obviously the late Richard Attenborough playing obviously the main honcho, John Hammond, a Scottish guy. And he does a good job at being this, obviously, someone who's trying to be sympathetic, but at the same time, just wants to see his park run. Like, he's like, oh, we can't do that because it's going to fuck. No, we can't. He's trying at every corner to try and get the better of his situation to keep his park, his dream alive. Obviously, then we have the two kids, obviously, Tim and Lexi. I don't know their names off the top of my head from the actual actors. I just remember Tim was in fucking G.I. Joe 2 and Lexi was in Tremors like the year prior to this, I think it was. Obviously they have their moments. Obviously Tim's he's the fanboy of Alan. He's always following him around. He's like, hey, and Lexi's just more this kind of quiet, nerdy type character, which is weird because in the book, yes, I have read the book. I listened to the audiobook.
So you can't.
I listened to the audiobook. Lexi is more of a sporty character, and she's a bit of a bitch. Not gonna lie, she is such a bitch towards Tim. Like you're just like, really?
I feel like the level shit deserves that.
Like, he's the same basic type character in the book. He's basically this obviously really like excited about dinosaurs, big fan of Alan. Whereas she's completely different. And obviously then you got Sam Jackson's character,
Hold on to
Dr. Arnold. Lashing out his classic hold on to your butt line before you use it in every other thing going forward. Obviously he has such a minor role for such a big star. I mean, he's pretty got to be one of the biggest stars in the movie, especially when you look at the cast now in terms of what they've done. He's got to be like the biggest
definitely
name, and yet he has such a minor role. It's like, what? You also got Nedry. I don't remember the actor's name for that as well. Obviously I snap them real quick and move that. I actually have Nedry.
Oh my god, the duck.
As a duck. That's a birthday present. No, it wasn't. That was a Christmas present. That was a Christmas present from Mr. Geeky Bear.
El Pal.
Yep. And he plays that very character you just want to hate. Like, he just laughs at random shit. He's like, what the fuck are you laughing at some cream for, you weirdo? And it's good wanting to see him fail at his mission, especially when he's just so bad at like covering his tracks and everything. Like, it's so obvious that he's fucked with something, and yet, and obviously, so he doesn't get away. He gets munched by a Dilophosaur in quite
a very small,
quite a cool scene. And it's just built up so well to the fact that he gets in the truck and it's like, hey, I'm actually in the truck with you. And he's like, oh, fuck me. Obviously, you have the Hunter character.
The British guy.
The British guy, yes. Fucking, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah. Obviously, he plays that hunting role pretty much like you'd expect from that type of character. And then lastly, I've got the lawyer. There's not too much to talk about him. He's just a lawyer. He dies on the shitter. He's the Elvis Presley of lawyers. And obviously, then lastly, you got our favourite character.
Literally the pinnacle of human fitness and attraction.
Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, the legend that is Jeff Goldblum. He's just like, his character's so not fitting for like the scenario, and yet he makes you love the character. He literally just plays Jeff Goldblum. Like, you got all these other characters that you go, oh yeah, that makes sense him being there. The lawyer makes sense being there because he's trying to make sure everything runs smoothly. You got this archaeologist there, dinosaurs, and he's got as John calls him. I brought the archaeologists. I brought the scientists. You brought a rock star.
He's the best fucking character.
Like, I mean, he rocks up in like a fucking leather jacket. Well, they're all then like work attire, and he's there in his leather jacket, fucking shirt slightly unbuttoned. It's like pure Jeff Goldblum.
They're all like fucking. Oh my god, to Triceratops. I'm gonna go over there. He's just like
he just pops up. he literally just pops up at one point, which is, as we said, was quite funny. Like, everyone jumping out of the car, seeing his Triceratops. He's still in the car by himself, talking to himself, and then out of nowhere, he just appears. He's like, "Oh, you always like this?" It's like, what? But I mean, he's not the brightest of it. I find it funny. He's so smart in the fact that he's doing this chaos theory, and yet he's so dumb when it comes to the T-Rex paddock scene where Alan's just lured the T-Rex away through his flare. T-Rex is distracted by the flare, and yet he's just lit a flare in the car, and then waving it in front of the T-Rex, even though it's already distracted. Don't get me wrong, I'll give him cojones. He was brave for the fact that he's like, get the kids out of there. Yeah, that's a knight in shining armour there. And he's also just dumb for the fact that
But he's allowed it.
Yeah.
He's Jeff Goldblum. He's allowed everything.
And then he ends up causing the lawyer death because him doing the distraction knocks him into the toilet, which knocks everything down, leaving the lawyer on the toilet to get eaten while taking a shit.
Fuck that lawyer, though.
Well, I know, he was someone who was like, instantly like... He was kind of reminded of you. Instant mindset of... we can make money off this, The merchandise!
Money.
The exhibits! Yeah, but what about the non-rich people? We could do a coupon day.
Money.
That's what I mean. Reminding of you. Money. But yeah, fucking Jeff. And then what I love, obviously, when they find him and they just leave him alone in the car. And he's like, I want to get out of here. Come on, guys, I want to get out of here.
He's like, I'm scared right now.
That's heavy footprint. So can we get out of here, please? Just drive. Fifth gear. Falls on the gear. Get off the bloody stick.
That's a shockwave right there. I need to go.
Oh. It's the bit as well. It cracks me up when someone's going on. It instantly just cuts to him lying there shirtless, and it's just like, wait, you got all this going on here, and then it just cuts to him just lying there, his top open.
It's fan service.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we both said the early on scene when Alan's on the Triceratops listening to it, just all we could think of was that gif of that scene, but with Jeff Goldblum inside the Triceratops. The perfect gif, that is. It's such an iconic movie that you can just find, and it's no wonder that it's still going to today. The fact that we're getting in 2 months' time, Jurassic World Dominion, the end of the Jurassic saga, and the beginning of a new saga.
Prehistoric Park.
Yes, Prehistoric Park now. It's such a good ongoing storyline. Like, everything sprinkled within is something that's eventually brought back later when the franchise got reborn, sorry. Like, obviously you got Dr. Wu. That's someone you see, you're like, oh, it's just like a minor character who's just like, oh yeah, I'm the one who's doing all this here. And then he just goes out of it, but then he pops back up in Jurassic World like, oh yeah, I built all this. And yet then it's revealed that, spoiler alert, even though we're not doing Jurassic World now, obviously it's like, oh yeah, he's the villain. He's like a bad guy. And it's like, oh, such a minor role in movie 1, and yet he's a villain on the 4th film. Onwards, like he's the villain of the Jurassic World saga. Like, cause if you think about it, there's no real overall villain of the first 3. There's not really like a connected story essentially of the first 3. It's more just like just different moments. Yeah, there's callbacks to each one, but there's not really connected story. Whereas Jurassic World, it's an actual connected ongoing story. Like, everything's intertwined, and obviously now that it's bringing in the past to help more with the present, which is pretty cool.
Like Jurassic Park's more the concept of dinosaurs are real now, and focusing on individual characters. We get set up the first characters in this film. The second one focused more on Malcolm, and the third one we focus more back on Alan again. Like it's focusing all these,
and obviously the latter trilogy, Jurassic World trilogy, is more focused on the obviously consequences on a more global scale, and just obviously a franchise on a bigger scale in general. Because Jurassic World's basically just Jurassic Park. Fallen Kingdom is basically just Lost World. Obviously, Dominion's going to be the odd one because it's basically not JP3 because it's completely different. Because JP3 is just them going back to the Lost World, but with different characters. So it's more like these three are more focused on the islands themselves, whereas the new ones are more focused on off the island. Like, it starts with the island, it's got to build up to it, but then it's more focused on dealing with the consequences of what if they get off the island? Because this never really touches upon that. This touches upon.
I mean, it does technically because there's a fail safe.
Just in case anything goes wrong,
But if they get off the island, there's a fail safe.
Obviously, it's never 100. Other than a Lost World at the end, it's never really fully touched upon. What if they get off the island? What can happen if they run riot elsewhere? And obviously, Jurassic World is more something that's dealing with that heavily because it is basically Dominion is set with the world basically the dinosaurs living within the world, which is kind of cool. Also scary as fuck if that was this actual world. Walking out your house in the morning, got a cup of tea in your hand, a fucking T-Rex was on. Oh fuck, I'm dead.
I prefer like Planet Ape to this.
Yes, I'd prefer to be a slave to an ape in a suit of armour than eaten by T-Rex. One thing I do like though is obviously the reference to the animatronics, like when they're on the ride at the start. When as you said, this heavily looks like a park ride when they're going around, and they've got the railings on, they're going around the safety bars. Sorry, and it's the one the lawyer's like, oh, these animatronics. And it's like, no, they're actual people, you moron. And I instantly was like, oh, that's kind of a reference to Westworld, which is also by Michael Crichton, which is pretty cool. Which is quite funny. You're making an ape reference because Michael Crichton also did Congo, which is about killer apes, which is quite funny. You made that reference there without even realising the connection. There's just so many good things about this movie.
Definitely loads.
I'm on my mind just trying to pick out the good bits. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. I need to talk about that. Let's talk about the really like over the top 70s 80s fucking security system this park has. I mean, as you said, why not have like the simplest of systems where you can like simple database, and yet they've got this convoluted system which is proven like, oh, this is fucking us with the whole, we need to lock this door. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go for the entire system to find where the lock is. Oh no, that's the chemistry. No, that's not what I want. Oh, there it is.
Press the wrong phone. I go wait 5 minutes for the fucking get
out of the screen. Like, why build it like that? It's just like so stupid. But then again, you gotta build the tension for the audience. Like, shit, are they gonna do it? Are they not gonna do it? What's going on here? I mean, the film has everything that most Spielberg films tend to have. It's got the adventure side of it. It's got the action side of it. It's got the great character side of it. The great music, the family dynamic. It's also got animatronics. What was the one I was going to say? It was the first thing I was going to roll off my tongue, and I fucking forgot it now because I went for everything else instead. Fuck, should have done that first. No, it's gone. It was such a good point as well, and it's gone. Fuck it, carry on. But yeah, it's just pure perfection. I mean, it's kind of going to spoil my rating at the end, but I mean, this is literally my top 10 films of all time.
Definitely.
It's like so up there. It's just really fucking good, which kind of does spoil the pro rating I want to give at the end of this. But still, fuck me, it's just it's so good. I do like the fact as well that it's not a franchise that's been milked to death. It's something that's been spread out across years. Because I mean, the next one's 97. The one after that's like 2001. Then after that it was like 2015, 2018, and then 2022. So it's not something that has been churned out year after year or every 2 years. It's something that's actually had like time to breathe and come out naturally rather than be rushed out and made a mess.
Like every single Transformer films.
Basically, yeah. So I mean, you look at that. For example, I mean, what was the first one? 2007. Then it was 2009. Then it was like 2011. Then 2014. Then 2017. They're pretty much churned out left, right, centre. And it's ironic you brought that. It's funny you brought that up since obviously Spielberg was producer on those. So it's funny you brought that up. But it's just something that was churned out. Where this hasn't been. I mean, it's on 6 installments. Yeah, that's quite a few installments, but it's over the course of what, just under 20 years. No, just under 30 years. Sorry, because what 93. Yeah, just under 30 years, isn't it? 30 years next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surprised they didn't leave Dominion to next year as an anniversary. I mean, they could have, yeah. I mean, that would have made a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Like, especially bringing everyone back, the anniversary be next year. Damn, they missed out on a fucking good like cash grab there.
Unless they got like an uncut version for the 31.
I think it's just the fact that this technically meant to be out last year, so it's they kind of need to get it out before that anyway. But I do like it's a good benchmark to start with. This is spoiler, a lot of them don't reach this standard, but it's a good way to kick off a franchise. I mean, you got obviously 6 movies, including this one, at the end of this year. You've got your video game from Telltale. You got the park building games, the Jurassic World Evolution ones, 1 and 2. You've got your Camp Cretaceous Netflix animated series. I think you had some arcade games. I remember when you used to go to Blackpool, something used to be arcade games, like the shooting ones with the raptors. You got a few old console games as well. Trying to think what else you got. There's a lot this spawned, and it's no surprise that it spawned it because how iconic the movie is. Because it's just pure enjoyment, pure adrenaline,
definitely.
And it's 2 hours. I mean, every film in the franchise is basically 2 hours long, apart from the third one, and it deserves that 2 hours because the build up. There's the shock and awe of, oh, it's a dinosaur. Fuck. Like, you're seeing it from their point of view, like, the instant shot of, obviously, Ellie having her head turned, and they're like, they move in her herds. What? Whoa. And there's Malcolm's like, huh, crazy son of a bitch.
Like, that, I do like that, because, like, it starts off, you don't see dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's more of, like, it hyped up a bit more.
I mean, you don't even see the raptor straight away. You just see like the eye.
You see someone dying, and then
you see like the eye of the raptor. That's it. You don't really see anything. Like, the first dinosaur you see is the brachiosaurs.
Yeah.
Like the proper visual is brachiosaurs, which are yes, digital. The first like physical one you see, isn't it the Triceratops? The first like actual animatronic. Well, you see the baby raptor. Yeah. I wouldn't really like the big. Holy shit, that's a big motherfucker. It would be the Triceratops. Yeah, it'd be the Triceratops. It's the big one you see first. And then obviously this builds up then with obviously the T-Rex. And then so on and so forth until everyone's loose and it's all like, well, shit hit the fan, free for all. Let's just fucking go for it. Like, there's no stopping this now. Everyone's colliding. And yeah, it's just so different to the book. Like, when I listened to the book and I was like, yeah, it's better than the Jaws book was to Jaws. But obviously it's still nowhere near this because it's just the idea of, yeah, I feel like if you read the book first and then watched the film, it's one of those things of, oh, I didn't capture that right. Oh, I didn't do that instead. Yeah. But for the fact it's something when you watch this film like fucking millions of times, like I have, ironically, millions of years, dinosaurs. So funny. Not really. Like when you watch this film so many times, you know these character traits and you listen to like, their book version, it's like, it's shit really. Like, I mean, Malcolm's not the same as he is in this, but you can't capture Jeff Goldblum.
No one can.
Unless you use a tranquilizer dart and some netting.
We've tried,
and even that, he still gets out of it.
He's too powerful.
He's too powerful. He's a god. It's like Nicolas Cage and Danny DeVito. They're just gods. You can't capture them. But it's just weird. Obviously, it's weird just listening to their book versions and being like, oh. Like, the fact I said to you, Jeff Goldblum's character dies in the book, Ian does. And it's like, what? It's like, hey, the fuck?
Yeah.
I swear Hammond kicks a bucket in the book as well.
Hmm.
There's quite a few deaths. I mean, the only ones that I can remember off the top of my head that do make it out are obviously Ellie, Alan, and the kids. That's the only ones I can remember off the top of my head that can make it out. And obviously there is a lot that isn't in the book. That's in the book, that's not in the film. I'm kind of like, I would have liked to have seen that. There's a whole... Because it's actually referenced in the movie. They reference a water... like a water ride sort of thing. And that's in the book. The kids and obviously Alan get onto like this, the water, and basically just have to travel down obviously the lakes and that in the park. And the first T-Rex chases them, like it's paddling after them. And it keeps going after them, it keeps hunting them. Like it's specifically hunting them. Which obviously isn't touched upon here, because every time you run into the T-Rex, it's more of just accidental, apart from the first scene. Like when you see him with the Gallimimus, that's just accidental. Like it wasn't after them, it
was after the Gallimimus.
Yeah, and then at the end, it just appears and attacks the raptors. It was never hunting them. Whereas in the book, it was basically kind of after them. Like it was kind of stalking them. A bit like Jaws in Bruce Shark in Jaws. Like it was going after the boat. It was hunting them on the boat. It was like that. It was kind of going after, constantly going after them. I can't remember what the fucking ride's called though, off the top of my head. It does reference it in the film, but it's kind of upsetting that you don't get to see that here. Like that would have been really cool, like a sequence. But then again, budget. I mean, yeah, it's a big budget, but I mean, it's going to be a lot of special effects for that whole sequence. And you got 2 hour, you got 2 hour film already, so it's kind of the point of you're probably not even going to fit that into your movie. Which is a shame though, because it would have been quite cool to see like a T-Rex trying to swim after him. Like that would have been quite cool.
I don't know how they would have done it though.
What do you mean?
Probably would have been like animatronic or CGI.
Oh, it would have been CGI. That definitely wouldn't have been animatronic. There's no chance in hell they would have been able to pull that off. So it's kind of also glad that they didn't do it, because that would have been, it probably wouldn't look that good. Just like most of the animatronics, I mean, CGI in the movie, animatronics look great. CGI not so good. I think the only shot of CGI that really looks good is the T-Rex shot when it first bursts out of the enclosure. That's probably the one.
Because of how dark it is.
Yeah, one great shot of CGI. And then I feel like personally, not the first Brachiosaurus, the ones when it zoomed out into the Parasaurolophus, because that is kind of blurred in general. It doesn't look too bad of CGI effects on all of them, because it's a distant shot and it's kind of blurred. Other than that, most of the CGI does look a bit dicey, but again, 90s, it's old, you can let it slide, it's not too much of an issue to figure that. What else? I do, obviously, because the fact is fucking PG, obviously a lot of your deaths have to be off screen, or in ways where it's like, yeah, that's not going to get us a 12 rating, because I mean, it's not going to make its money that they wanted to make. And I feel like most of the deaths are basically the exact same. The only exception is probably the lawyer death. Oh yeah, he's in the toilet, you see it pick him up and eat him. That's probably the only exception. I mean, Nedry dies in the car, you just see the car shaking, and then the hunter dies in the basically the grass, and you whatnot. And then obviously Sam Jackson's character just dies off screen. Like the biggest star of the movie, and you don't even get to see him die on screen. You just see a hand flop down, and Ellie's like, "Oh, there you are, we found you!" It's just like, yeah, why would he like just touch your back? Why wouldn't he go, Ellie, there's a raptor in here.
Hold on to your butt.
Hold on to your butt. Or I'll do it for you.
That's where the hand came off.
But obviously, it's just weird that he got the off-screen death. Then again, we've already seen him die to CGI before in Deep Blue Sea. Very bad CGI. Again, 90s. You get that slide a little bit. Well, Sam Jackson likes to die to movies with bad CG, doesn't he? But yeah, it's just... I don't have any complaints whatsoever about Jurassic Park. There's nothing to complain about. It's just... I mean, I've got the dinosaur bones all over my shirt. I've got a really cool raptor skeleton on my shirt. It's just... It's like the fanboy in me just... I feel like it's just because of our love for dinosaurs. I mean, we've kind of always loved dinosaurs. I mean, fucking reach down and grab it and not knock anything over.
We're grabbing the T-Rex.
I mean, I've got the Jurassic Park visual novel. well, visual history, which covers 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't cover Jurassic World. That's a different book entirely, which isn't out yet. But yeah, and it obviously just covers like all the shit from it. Like Nedry's just some guy with a hat in the book. It covers like characters. Wait, is Jeff in the book? I haven't fully read this book. FYI. I haven't. What the fuck? I got John Hammond in the book.
Looks so weird.
Looks like it's that fucking director. A bit of a nonce. I can't think. Oh, is that all he gets? That little tiny. Oh, there he is, smiling away in the book. There's a script in there as well. I haven't fully read the book.
Police that scene's in the.
Which scene? The shirtless.
The shirtless one.
I don't know if it is or not.
Better.
I got the raptors. I got the Gallimimus. I don't know if it is Hayden.
Bastards.
It is pretty cool. I mean, it's showing like how the raptors, like the animatronics were done. Like, it's actually people in the suits. That's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of the shots are like animatronics, but obviously when they're moving, they've got to utilise people, haven't they? Very young Steven Spielberg.
Like puppets, man.
Yeah, more like basically like.
Oh, that's cool.
Mr. DNA. I don't think it is.
Bastards. Honestly.
No, they got Fat Nedry, Hunter. No, I don't think it is Hayden, sadly. Stickers. Get some nuts. Sorry. Snickers, get some nuts.
Yeah, I get right.
Not stickers. Nah, that's strange to JP2.
Bullshit.
Well, I can print you a picture out instead if you want, if that helps.
Perfect.
But yeah, obviously, I got on the floor, I got the T-Rex, which I used to tease this podcast with when I did the podcast of Alex. I asked him if he wanted to tease the next one. I got a T-Rex up. Seem to be shocked that I actually own a toy T-Rex. It's me, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Of course I'm going to own a toy T-Rex. There's obviously I got them. Other merchandise I got is the Funkos of Alan. Jeff. Jeff's in there somewhere. He's in one of the cabinets somewhere behind us. Obviously I've got fucking Jurassic World ones. I've got obviously Claire and Pratt's character. Fucking I said his name when I'm watching the film, and it's already the name's already like forgotten in my head. Owen. I said his name at the start, and I don't know if I can. Where is it in my head? No, I think I have Puller. I do have she's in the other room. I do have Ellie in the Jeep, the iconic Jeep, and also I have Jeff Goldblum over there. There's like a different statue entirely with the flare. He's a very dumbass approach to trying to save people. It's that kind of shows how much I love Jurassic Park, doesn't it? Just all the merchandise I own and all the t-shirts I own of it. Damn, I love Jurassic Park. I love it too much. I think it's just because I love dinosaurs. I've always loved dinosaurs. Ever since that Disney film, Dinosaurs. If you remember that old Disney one from like early 2000s.
I think I do.
The one where the dinosaurs talked. I think the Contours is the villain of that one. I haven't seen that film for years. I kind of want to watch it. But ever since that, I just love dinosaurs. Jurassic Park helps more. Going to watch Walking with Dinosaurs live. That was fucking good. When they had the fucking puppets and the animatronics there, that was fucking great.
Prehistoric Park.
Prehistoric Park. That's like something we both love.
The budget version.
The budget version of Jurassic Park. I feel like that's like what helps me love dinosaurs so much. Just everything, and especially this franchise, because of this movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the many films that have built me over the years to be this sort of pop culture nerd.
I mean, like this film popularised the raptors. It made them one of the top 5 like dinosaurs.
I mean, it's got to like popularise dinosaurs even more.
Definitely.
If you think about it, I mean, a lot of people seeing this as kids in the 90s would be like in shock and awe, especially when not just the special effects ones, like the actual practical ones, where people be like, "Whoa." I honestly would have loved to have seen this film when it first came out, but I was not even born. I was nowhere near the length of being born. So it's kind of like the shame of, oh. Then again, it makes me not old, so
true.
There is that. Then again, I am like 24, in like a day's time. Damn it, I'm old. And I can feel it as well. But yeah, fuck me. Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss is film.
Definitely.
Chef's Kiss and 10 out of 10 Goldblums.
Oh yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, so we're gonna. I think it's very simple, the rating for this. I feel like, me personally, I've got to give it the Dragon's Egg, which is a 10 out of 10, because it's just great, and I'm feeling like we're on the same wavelength here.
10 Goldblums and a possible 10 Goldblums. It's the only way to explain it.
It's just pure perfection. I think it might have been comedy. I might have needed to mention when I was doing the list of Spielberg stuff. I don't know if I mentioned comedy in that.
Oh.
I think that was the one I was trying to think of. I don't know why it slipped my mind. Because, I mean, it is quite a funny film. I mean, the electric wire scene. Didn't say the magic word. The John Hammond talking to John Hammond, talking to John Hammond, talking to John Hammond, talking to John Hammond. It's very funny. Jeff Goldblum with his nipples out. Very funny. Also, very erotic. Well, we're going to bring back some old segments here. So it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Chat Cave MVP. Also, it's the Chat Cave now, MVP award. We give for the best character in the movie. It goes to acting, it goes to how great they are, how well they just in general are in this movie, and how much they stand out. And it's very simple. Hayden, take it away.
Jeff Goldblum.
Eddie Malcolm, yes. He's just... He stands out the most because he doesn't fit in the movie whatsoever. But
he's the best.
It's funny. He plays obviously he plays a scientist in Independence Day, which probably would suit this movie more. That sort of scientist character than this rock star.
Flirting with all of them.
He just flirts with fucking Ellie the entire time. He's like, "Hey, put this water on. I'm just rubbing your arm. Just look what happens."
Chaos theory.
It's like not trying to touch you up or anything. Chaos theory. He's just so fucking good. And I feel like this is what makes us love Jeff Goldblum even more.
Started it for me.
It started it, yeah. Okay, so who would you give the runner-up to?
I would say Alan.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, because I mean he's the one that's on screen the most.
He's the main character, really.
And there's a lot of character building in there, character development. The fact that he starts off not really liking kids, the fact that he basically the whole sequence of Tim coming up to him and smiling at him is like trying to his face like, get out of here.
And at the very end, like he's on the helicopter, got both of them.
Yeah, he's like really
being like a dad.
He's basically goes from someone who hates kids to becoming a dad at the end.
And we'll never see that black point again.
Yeah, because him and Ellie don't make it as far as JP3. But yeah, so yeah, Sam Neill's Alan Grant, runner up. Okay, favourite moment is something else I want to bring back.
I think for me, it's the first time we actually see the dinosaur.
The Brachiosaur scene.
Yeah.
When they're doing the head
it's a slow build up. You see their reactions first
when
before
they collapse.
We actually see it.
Exactly, when they collapse on the floor. Alan's just like walks back. When he turns around, it's just like... He just falls on the floor and John Hammond's there like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park."
Fucking like Jeff, I'm like, crazy son of a bitch. It's all perfectly built up. Like,
and it's well reacted.
Definitely.
It'd be a bit weird if it was like, whoa!
Like,
you can see the real emotion within him. I mean, even the bit later on with the Triceratops, when Ellie's crying her eyes out because she's touching the Triceratops.
And he's just like...
You can see
he's very joyful.
You can see the real emotion in that sequence. Yeah, the CGI may not be great, but... their
acting's brilliant.
Their acting is spot on, and it's a very iconic shot of the Brachiosaur standing up, which is something that comes back in Fallen Kingdom. Something they bring back years later. It's a very iconic moment.
I like how at the start she's more excited about the leaf. It's like, this is like an extinct leaf.
Yeah.
You ever see he's like the Cretaceous period,
and he's just like, oh my god. And then she's like...
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And the music hits. Like, the music makes it even better. The music starts hitting. It's like...
Because we're like, what they're looking at? Because we haven't actually...
Yeah, we don't see what they're looking at.
We don't even know that these are dinosaurs. It's never really been mentioned that it is going to be a dinosaur...
Park. It's literally just been like, it's just in your wheelhouse. Literally, that's all he says. And it's just like, okay, so what's this about then?
I think it's like an archaeology kind of like...
Yeah, like maybe like a natural history sort of museum, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Like that was,
or like a dinosaur museum, but shows fossils.
yes, that's what I mean. Like a bigger scale version of like a natural history museum.
Yeah.
It's a massive version of it. Like you can, it's all placed around like bones outside and what, like something like that. But I do agree with that. It's not my favourite scene, but I do agree it's definitely an iconic shot because of the acting, the music, and of course it's got the most iconic line of the film. Welcome to Jurassic Park. What would I give? There's a couple of scenes I can give a shout out to. The end scene with the T-Rex with the banner falling down.
The money shot.
The money shot, which is currently on the Blu-ray case. Yeah. The money shot of the T-Rex and the killing the raptors. That was just great. Obviously the scene within the kitchen, that's very iconic. But if I was to give it to a moment, it would have to be the hunter scene. When he's lining up his shot, he's sweating his bollocks off, getting his gun ready, lines up a shot on the raptor pokes his head out next to him, and he just goes, "Clever girl." Not just because that iconic piece of like line, but the fact that when it jumps on him, it's not a CGI raptor. It's obviously the actual, obviously the puppeteer one just jumping. Like that is like so fucking great. Because I love a movie when they utilise animatronics and puppeteering to make it like so they don't have to fully use CGI, and it's just the fact that that's the only death you really see on screen as well. Like apart from obviously the lawyer death, which is pretty much go off. You actually see the raptor like on him, fully like ravaging him. Like that is just so well done. And obviously, as I say, on top of that, you have the iconic line of "clever girl," because he's realised that he's gone from being the hunter to being the hunted, because he's just been taken out by the thing that he's kind of dreaded the most. Cause, I mean, he's like the warden of the place. Yeah. But he's also like the one who's kind of also constantly going, these raptors are smart, you need to be careful of these. He spends the entire film hyping them up. Yeah, because I mean, the first so he's in this first sequence when the raptor gets that guy, and he's like, "Shoot her! Shoot her!" Which again is another iconic scene which I can want to mention. When he's explaining like how they're learning, to Alan when he's saying that, and when they realise all the powers have gone down in the raptors are free. You know, even Nedry's not smart. Yeah, he's not dumb enough to mess with them, and yet he's messed with them, and he got himself killed by a Dilophosaur. But yeah, it's got to be the clever girl scene, because that is. I think that was also foreshadowed as well. Yeah, and obviously when Alan's talking to that kid, it might or might not be Owen. They're like, "Hey, you're staring it right in the eye," and that's when they attack not from the front, but from the sides. And that's literally what happens. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's just. It's spot on. It's just so great. There's literally nothing I can say bad about this movie apart from CGI, which I'd let slide because of the time. Even then, it might be bad now, but back then you'd be like, "Whoa, fuck me, that was incredible!" Like that type of scenario. Yeah, it's like at the time that was like watching fucking Endgame or Avatar. Yeah, which is a bit more CG. It's like the best. Whereas now you're watching, it's like. Now we've seen so much good technology. Yeah, it's just going back to it. It's like, damn, that doesn't hold up as well. But again, you can let it slide because it's pre-2000. Then again, anything pre-Avatar, really, you can let slide with CGI because that was when it peaked CGI, and ever since then, you rarely get a film where obviously it's terrible. Like, that utilises heavily CGI. It's terrible. Yeah, some here and there, but most big budget ones tend to be. Top notch. So yeah, there's nothing really bad you can say there is. But it's got Jeff Goldblum in. Fucking Jeff Goldblum. Right. Before we cream our pants over Jeff Goldblum anymore, put your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Do you like Jurassic Park? Do you not like Jurassic Park? Are you looking forward to Dominion in June? Do you think Jeff Goldblum is fit? What do you do? Yeah, just drop 10 Goldblums in the comments below. But next week, Connor is back. I do have no idea what I'm talking to him about. I forgot to talk to him the other day because I actually haven't seen him in a lot recently because of how it works. Kind of split us apart. I wonder why. It split us apart and made us lazy. They're too busy banging and split them. But yeah, I do have a good idea for that. But obviously, you'll be back to continue after that, the Jurassic Park one, because we are going to try and sit through every entry to build up to Dominion, and then obviously we'd have to wait then to the digital release of Dominion to talk about that, because obviously I'll go and watch it, but you probably won't until I put it on for you. So yeah, we're going to sit for them. So obviously next one you're on would be The Lost World. Again, another Jeff Goldblum one. So yeah, thanks for listening to us. You can check this out on most of your platforms for podcasts: iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, yada 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 yada. And say like and comment, and thank you for joining me, Hayden, to talk about and fangirl over a great movie. And we will see you next time.
I'm off to have sex with Jeff Goldblum.
But I want Jeff.